Hello and welcome to the podcast that is less Jeremy Jacquet and more Kenny Jackett. It's the big man up top.
Very topical.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Are you excited about the potential No, is it an actual acquisition?
It's a pretty much confirmed. You know, like
of Jeremy Jacquet.
Social media confirmed. All these side accounts. Here we go. Exclusive, all that. It's here we go official. It's not announced by the club, but signed a centre back.
Right, Jeremy Jackett.
Jeremy Jackett.
Jacquet. I look. I've never heard of him.
No, neither have I.
No, do you think he's any good?
Highly rated.
Right. Liverpool just need anybody right now, don't they?
We'll take anyone at the back.
At the back, absolutely. How are you doing, Joe?
Yeah, good. Doing well.
Fantastic.
Are you okay?
Yes. Can't complain. We're also joined by producer Tom. How are you, Tom?
Hey, fellas. Good weekend of football?
Oh, it was a great week, wasn't it?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we had this whole discussion in the office because Joe is becoming much more, how do we say, apathetic about football in general.
I am. That is the word I would use. It doesn't excite me.
I know.
Anymore.
And we're actually going to talk about apathy a little bit today, aren't we, Joe?
We are.
Now, mentioning Jeremy Jacquet, Joe.
Joe.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Good, yeah. Was that intentional? Or you
but I'm styling it out. Joe. It is, of course, as we record, transfer deadline day, isn't it?
Another one. It doesn't feel like long ago since the last one, does it?
No. Are you excited about it? I feel like it's had its heyday. Like, you know, from maybe 10 or 15 years ago, the Sky Sports pundits in their gold ties and all of that sort of stuff.
Those are the glory days, and, you know, it would slam shut at midnight. I think it's at 7 o'clock.
I know.
It doesn't feel right.
Well, it doesn't feel right. It feels like it should be an 11 o'clock thing or a midnight thing.
Because then you'd, like, wake up the next day and there'd be the ones that didn't quite... They got the deal sheet in.
Yes, and it trickled in at, like, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, my sort of memory of transfer deadline day has always been that over the years, Sky Sports News have gone way over the top with how early they start the window shutting. Sure. I remember a while ago, a good 22, 23 days, and they had the countdown timer ticking down, even to milliseconds. I thought, goodness me, lads,
a bit much.
Come on, let's sort this out.
I think my overriding memory of it is following it on teletext as a kid, and it would have completed transfers today, and you just refresh every half hour, see what's come on the end, and you see, Liverpool has signed this unknown French player for an undisclosed fee
called Joe.
And you'd just be so excited about this player that you've never heard.
Never heard of. Yeah.
Whereas nowadays you just know everything, don't you?
Do you know? Do you have any sort of particular transfer deadline day memories? Obviously, Peter Odom-Wingy.
Yeah, that was a classic. I used to always read about Jermaine Defoe in a helicopter over Merseyside. Where's he going? That's exciting. Obviously, Andy Carroll was a deadline day transfer.
I have this really odd memory of when Henning Berg joined Man United, and I don't quite know why. I think what it was I remember as a fairly young child seeing Henning Berg holding a shirt that said Berg and thinking that United had signed Bergkamp, and I was like, what's happened there? Why have they let him go? Alas, I was wrong. Yeah, not
very
him.
different.
Not him. Should we start with Bible Ballers though?
We should. Yes.
You're quizzing me this week?
I am. So this is Bible Ballers. This is our quiz segment of every podcast where we quiz each other on a Bible baller who is a footballer who shares their first name with a book of the Bible. This week I've got a bit of help from producer Tom.
Oh, that's exciting.
Happy to help. Always happy to help.
I cornered him on Friday and I said...
It was scary.
I said, "Oi, Tom." He was trying to step out the door. He was trying to leave early, actually, Ed. And I said,
right.
It's not quite 5 o'clock.
Thank you for policing my staff.
You're welcome,
Joe.
So I said, Tom, please get in that studio and watch this goal and commentate on it.
Yeah.
It's the return of producer Tom Commentates.
Fantastic.
And basically, I've got him to commentate on a classic Premier League goal.
Lovely.
You just tell me who scored it.
Sounds good. Should we have a listen?
Yeah. Okay, we got a team. It's blue versus white in stripes, and the ball's looks like it's coming down to the white with stripes end, and they're in the half, and he looks like he's going to have a go. Whoa! Oh my goodness! Oh wow! He shot that from halfway across the field. What a goal! And he's run and he's proper happy about that because he should be. And oh wow! And he goes and dives on the ground. He gets lots of hugs. Fella comes up and he points at his teeth. Okay, I bet nobody thought he was going to do that, and not even the goalkeeper. He just sort of looked up at it gormlessly. Well, I mean, he probably didn't think they were going to shoot it because it was so far away, and he didn't even try. I think he was a bit out of position, and it woo over his head. Poor fella.
It's good stuff, Tom.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of my
interesting.
finest.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so on first listen, we've got a blue team and a white and stripes team.
Yeah, I'm not sure what white and stripes are.
White and stripes.
Yeah.
Zebras, I guess. It must be the zebras.
Yeah.
Well, the footage was quite old, I guess. It's not black and white, but you know, it was a bit grainy, so I couldn't quite make out the colour of the. I think the colour balance was a bit funny. I knew they had stripes, and I knew one was definitely blue with red socks, and one was a bit stripy. So I just said white with stripes.
Okay.
Who they are.
Okay.
A few clues in there for you.
Well, I'm instantly very, very confused.
Any initial thoughts?
Yeah, my initial thoughts was this was a goal involving my beloved Stoke City.
Okay.
Because naturally that's where my head goes.
Of course
to.
it is. Yeah.
White with stripes.
So
neuron activation.
Yeah. So I was instantly thinking. Possibly, of course, because this was a goal from distance.
Lots of distance.
Well, you don't need to give me any more clues. But clearly over a goalkeeper. So I was thinking about Charlie Adam, of course.
Charlie Adam, yeah, known for it.
Known for that wonderful goal where he scored from inside his own half against Chelsea. I was also thinking about Peter Crouch, who scored that wonder goal. Against Man City, looping over the head of the goalkeeper from a long way out. So it could have been that.
But a few things to mull over there.
Yeah, a few things to mull over, but I'm not entirely sure it is definitely Stoke. So, I'm going to have a think about it.
Well, I'll give you a bit more time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joe.
Very welcome.
It's been an absolutely mad weekend of Premier League drama, hasn't it?
It's been one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah,
I'd say. There's been a lot of entertainment this weekend. Yeah.
What do you think has been the standout game that we need to talk about first?
Let's start with City.
Yeah.
City Spurs. I mean, I feel like this was at the height of my apathy this weekend. I'm just a bit done with football. It's the same every week. We're like, are Arsenal win the league? No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not yet. All that. Just a bit tired of it, Ed. And then watched the first half of this game, and I thought, even the commentators just not bothered. Peter Drury from Sky Sports, who famously loves every goal.
Very enthusiastic.
Shirky scores, and he's just like, and Shirky's scored. And I'm just like, what are we all doing here?
So City sort of just canter to a 2-0 lead, don't they? Looking kind of like fine.
Not having to get out of first gear.
It was mainly Spurs being really, really terrible. And then the second half happened, didn't it, Joe?
Yeah, just chaotic. Dominic Solanke happened, and it felt a little bit like City got complacent. They thought, and I think everyone would agree, at half-time there was only one direction this game was going in, and City certainly played like that. And Spurs just, they got a bit of energy from the crowd. They came out the second half and kind of picked up a bit, and they got that goal. Solanke got a goal, and it kind of just moved them forward a bit, momentum-wise.
Bit of a controversial goal, wasn't it? Because there was a suggestion that Dominic Solanke has fouled the defender Mark Gahey in the sort of, well, I was going to say in the build-up, but it was he struck the ball into the net sort of through Mark Gahey, didn't he? Really, like, so kicked him and it went in. I mean, for me, I think it's a goal. I think it should stand.
I think so too. There was an interesting moment. It was initially given as a Mark Gahey own goal. Yeah. And part of me wondered if you give it as an own goal, then you're admitting that Solanke has kicked through Gahey,
yeah,
and therefore it's a foul. So it was a really strange one, but not enough in it for a foul, I don't think.
Is that what a scorpion kick is? Because I saw a headline which said Solanke scores scorpion kick.
Well, no.
And I'm like, what's a scorpion kick?
The scorpion kick comes after that.
Oh, he scored 2 goals.
He did.
In one game?
In one game.
Madness.
Remarkable.
Now, Tom, what do you think a scorpion kick entails?
Well, if there's one thing we know about scorpions, they don't play football, so it could be quite difficult to say. Well, we've got pinchy, stingy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking on that, is a scorpion kick when you kick the ball in while kicking someone else, and then it's sort of like a sting from a scorpion.
Right.
It's a good one.
I was thinking, is it the shape of the kick, right?
Sure.
Because I don't get bicycle kick, but I assume there's a sort of bicycle pedaling. I'm thinking it's like a frontward flip with the foot coming up behind over the head and hitting it in with the heel.
Interesting. Should we let you watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, he crosses it in. That was a good cross, wasn't it?
What
a funny goal! Did he mean to do that?
Absolutely.
Do you think he did?
He certainly did. Yeah.
I think he's definitely intentionally thrown a heel at it.
Yeah.
I think he's just found some sort of way of getting it towards the goal.
Yeah, he's running ahead of it. He's realised the ball's sort of behind, and he's just definitely.
But I mean, Solanke's made a difference to this Spurs team.
Hugely.
He's come back in. He's kind of. I mean, Richarlison is okay. I don't think he's good enough to start and lead that line every week. And Solanke's come back in, and they've missed him.
I just think that he offers something that they don't have anywhere else. He offers some kind of, real movement with purpose. It is. Look, we'll joke about it. He is a really good big man up top.
He is.
And actually, sometimes when you're talking about a team that's lightweight and struggling to, really create clear-cut chances, having a focal point really helps, and I think that's exactly what he's doing in this Spurs side.
I think a focal point and Conor Gallagher coming into that side. I'd completely forgotten they'd signed him, actually, and I watched this game and thought, oh yeah, I remember that. And he just provides so much energy in the midfield, which is something they've not had all season. And I think that combined with Solanke up top really helped them in the second half, and it's a great point for Spurs.
Now let's touch on City, because Pep was oddly optimistic after the game, which is not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting a big whinge, but generally speaking, he was saying, look, there's still 14 games to go. It's not, it's not mathematically impossible and all that, but he was trying to remain optimistic, I think. And yeah, it's not looking good for City, is it? 6 points adrift now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole chat around this is, they're only 4 points behind, and that's and you're expecting City to go on the kind of run that City have done in the past, but this team just don't look capable of it. Their mentality just isn't the same as it has been in the past. They've got a bunch of new players that haven't done it before, and they do still have to play Arsenal, so that could make it interesting. I think if it stays at 6 points and at that point City get a win, then it starts to get interesting. But I just can't see at the moment how they can catch Arsenal.
They're away at Anfield next week as well.
They are. Fancy it. I do fancy it. Yeah.
Let's move on to one of two really great comebacks that we saw. Well, I suppose,
another one.
Yeah. A third, really. Chelsea beating West Ham 3-2. This was a fantastic game, wasn't it?
Really good. And I only watched the second half of this, actually, because I thought it was just going to be a routine win for Chelsea. But West Ham are looking better.
Yes.
I think they've made some changes to their coaches, apparently, and it's made a big difference going forward. They look quite potent in attack.
They look particularly good with Somerville and Bowen, I think. Like those two are firing at the moment, and it just makes their whole team look so much more balanced. Souček's playing really well in the middle. You're starting to see a much more balanced team for West Ham. Yeah,
you're starting to see Nuno's influence as well, I think. He loved his wingers at Forest. He had Elanga and Hudson-Odoi, and it seems like Somerville and Bowen are starting to do what they did so well for Forest last season. They are just missing that striker, I think, that's going to score 15 goals a season, and they've got these two new ones that are okay. But yeah, a lot more encouraged by West Ham. I think there's a lot for them to feel optimistic about, and again, like we said, 14 games left. You wouldn't be surprised if they could close that gap.
But obviously the big story in this one is Chelsea coming back from 2 down to win 3-2. And you kind of can't really look anywhere else other than Liam Rosenior, the manager, who made 3 changes at half-time and just completely changed the shape of his side, changed everything about them, the vibe, the energy, all of it. And yeah, I think managers get a lot of stick, and at this point you have to go, well, that's an absolute masterstroke from Rossini.
Yeah, I actually really like him. I really like what I'm seeing from him. Not just, I think he's good at in-game changes.
Not just the turtleneck.
Not just the way he dresses, though. He dresses phenomenally. I think he's very good at in-game changes. He's very tactically astute. But I think he's really likeable. And I saw an interview with him after their game midweek against Napoli, and he's having a laugh with his players, and that's not something we saw from Maresca at all. I think he's very popular in that dressing room, and I think the vibes are quite good at Chelsea at the moment, and it's quite hard to know what they're going to give you. They're inconsistent. I think Garnacho did not have a good game in that first half, and I think a lot of fans are saying that he isn't good enough for that Chelsea team. I don't think Liam Delap is good enough. I certainly think they've got a lot of players that aren't quite at the standard. But Rossini's got a good thing going, and I'm really intrigued about this Carabao Cup semi-final against Arsenal tomorrow night, because they could have a go at Arsenal here.
Speaking of Vibes FC, Man United in another incredible game. Now, this time they took the lead against Fulham and sort of did their best to throw it away, didn't they? But good times at Man United, winning 3-2 at home.
Again, the vibes are high. They are, and I feel like they're running on vibes. Saying the word vibes a lot.
Yeah, we are.
The feeling is so good around Man United over the last 3 games. And yes, they nearly threw it away. But it was a great moment for Sesko getting that goal, and you have to say the best times for United over the last few years have been moments like this. Like, you think a lot about last minute winners from Harry Maguire or things like that. This
Makeda. I don't know why that one's on my head. Michael Owen.
Sure, if we're going to go back 15 years, sure.
Showing my age there.
But it feels like this, we're quite used to United having these moments. You know, they played well in the first half. Casemiro's looking good again, but they did fall apart, and Fulham obviously equalised through a fantastic goal. But then United go and win it with a moment. So I wasn't as convinced by United in this game as I have in the last 2 games, but they've won again.
They've won again.
And the vibes are feeling good.
Really great moment for Sesko as well, getting that last minute winner. He's kind of come in for a lot of stick since he's been at United. It's not quite worked out. Sort of in that same mould as Gyökeres at Arsenal, maybe, and it's just not quite firing yet. But clearly a real talented player, and you've got to assume it will come good at some point.
Hugely talented, and I think there's something about getting a winner that will do confidence such good. Like, so often if a striker's struggling, you'll bring them on and hope they get, like, if you're having a comfortable win, you'll bring them off the bench and they might get a fourth, a goal at the end to kind of build up their confidence. But to get a winner in a game like this is absolutely huge for him, and yeah, he looks good. I think he's a good talent.
I think it's time that we look at your team, Joe. Liverpool, a 4-1 win against Newcastle.
Convincing.
Well, not what I was expecting at all. How do you feel about that as a fan, Joe?
Yeah, huge result. Really encouraging. First Premier League win of the year, which feels mad to say at the start of February.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's insane.
In the Premier League.
Wow,
yeah.
Goodness me.
But they've scored 10 goals this week, and last week we were having conversations about really good build-up play, but not having that killer instinct. And I think Ekitike showed how good a finisher he is. Shades of Fernando Torres.
Well, exactly. There was the rather awkward interview where he was compared to Fernando Torres by Steven Gerrard, and you could sort of tell he didn't quite know who Fernando Torres was. You know, but it's what I would say is that there's been a lot of talk about Liverpool's transfer policy and their dealings in the last year or so. Wirtz and Ekitike particularly are starting to really, really look like money well spent, aren't they?
Yeah, we have such a tendency to judge signings straight away. To be fair, Ekitike hit the ground running, but we've done it with Wirtz, we've done it with Kirkes, we've done it with Sesko, we've done it with Gyökeres. these players are starting to find their feet, I think, and starting to look like they're up to speed with the Premier League. And you really saw that with Wirtz and Ekitike. Their combination play is fantastic. It seems like players now know what Wirtz is going to do, which at the start you didn't. They weren't on the same wavelength. There was a particular moment he came on against Chelsea, and he did this fantastic. His first touch off the bench, he did this fantastic little spin to set it up for Salah, and Salah just wasn't expecting it at all and fluffed his lines. And I think now you're starting to see players understand what Wirtz is going to do, where he's going to go, what players around him need, and you're seeing that in his numbers. He's now got 14 goal involvements all season, which is good for your first season at this point. Is very good numbers.
There was a really lovely story in this one with Konate scoring a goal. Tell us about why that was so important, because he's had a tough time of it of late.
Yeah, so Konate's missed the last few games, and he tragically lost his father the last couple of weeks in quite tragic circumstances, and he's taken some time out. It's been really tough. He's been grieving his father the start of the week. Apparently Arne Slot said to him, look, take the time that you need, come back when you're ready, and this was his first game back. And
well, I believe he saw another Liverpool game, didn't he, and said, you need me in at centre back here,
which I love,
which I quite like.
I do like. He's like, I want to come and help the team, which is such a backhand. Like,
we look very bad at the back.
But he comes in and they're 3-1 up, and I am watching that final few minutes just like, oh, I'd love a Konate goal here. You know, he's come under some stick this year, and probably rightly so for the way he's played. But he was phenomenal in this game. Him and Van Dijk defensively were phenomenal, I thought, in this game. And this goal just tops it off. Such a heartwarming moment. Scores a goal, surrounded by his whole team, including Alisson, who sprints 80 yards to hug him. And you just see him embrace Van Dijk after this goal. And it was just such a lovely moment. The heartbreak he's been through this week, and let's not forget this year as well, with losing a teammate. It's been a horrific time personally for him, and obviously this means football isn't important, but this moment to score that goal in front of the Kop with his whole team around him is just a beautiful moment.
I think it just really shows as well, like that there is just something about, in these times of grief, trauma, whatever you want to call it, is that so much of that is who you've got around you. You know, we've talked on this podcast before about grief and about how, you know, we as Christians are fortunate enough that we're in church communities, and it just means that when we're in these difficult moments of life, that actually we've got people around us. And it really felt when he scored that goal like, you know what, he's got his teammates with him, and it felt like a really special moment, didn't it?
That was a standout moment, wasn't it? That you're right, our church community is our family as well, and they are the people that help us through difficult times. The first question that Konate got asked post-match was, what a moment, how does it feel having this Liverpool family around you? And really lovely moment, and an encouragement to us all to get around those that are struggling.
I do want to touch base on Bournemouth picking up a win at Molineux this weekend. Not that there was anything particularly out of the ordinary there, but something that I spotted from this game, Joe, that I wanted to tell you about was, I'm not sure if you saw, from a few weeks ago, there was a video that went viral of a Wolves fan in the crowd nicking a chicken nugget off his son. Did you see this?
I didn't know. Tell me more.
So there's a lovely, it's a remarkable video, half-time at the game 2 weeks ago, and there's a young boy eating his chicken nuggets, and the dad, you know, does that classic dad thing of just going parent tax and stealing a chicken nugget.
I paid for it. I'll have one.
Exactly. I do that very regularly with my kids, you know, snacks and stuff.
For shame.
It's got to be done. And obviously the kid, bless him, just bursts into tears. He's devastated.
A limited number of chicken nuggets.
You know, who knows how many he had? 8 maybe, but, you know, one chicken nugget.
Wasn't the last one, was it?
Well, I don't know. That would be particularly mean. That video went viral. Lots of comments, sort of in jest. But this week, the this week, Wolves decided to treat that young boy to a whole portion of chicken nuggets, fresh, brought to him by Wolfie the mascot at half-time.
Wow.
And in addition to that, the dad got a stern telling off from Wolfie, which I thought was great.
Good.
And on top of that, he got a Wolves shirt as well.
As if things couldn't get worse.
I mean, poor boy. But I do want to say, like, because I know some people sort of, may say that feels crazy just because this boy had a chicken nugget stop. But number one, I would say that's a lovely touch from Wolves there, showing that, because they're going through the ringer a little bit at the moment, and actually they can sort of laugh at themselves and all of that stuff. And also, I just think it's a really nice, generous thing to do. And, we should all be more generous, shouldn't we?
I think it's about finding joy in times that are, maybe not the most joyful. And certainly for Wolves on the pitch, that isn't the case.
Certainly in the Molineux, there's not much to cheer about.
There isn't, but just little stories like that can make you feel, and I think it can make you feel part of the community as well, of those fans feel part of Wolves, and Wolves have seen that online and thought, you know what, this would be a great gesture. Let's bring a bit of joy. So it's a really nice story. Yeah.
One danger to this: will it encourage more fathers to steal chicken nuggets?
This is the thing.
You're going to start to, you're going to start to have all sorts of, staged nonsense.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know if was it the Ashes. No, it was the cricket test against India last year. I can't remember if I've mentioned this already, but there was a man that was sat behind a bowler, and the batter was complaining that this man was distracting with a really vibrant red top,
really loud shirt.
So then the England cricket board gave this guy a brand new white English. So then the next day you genuinely see 4 or 5 men in red tops.
Yeah, great.
Sat there.
Good.
So they get a new shirt. It's that kind of vibe.
That's what you want.
So dads, steal your nuggets.
So we're going to kick off this next section, Joe, with a voice note from Stat Matt.
Hello, Matt.
As a Brentford fan, I know the pain of many playoff defeats, but Shrewsbury fans know a different type of anguish. They've had a decade of difficult seasons. 9 managers in 11 years, average league position of 16.7, 6 bottom 6 finishes in the last 9 seasons, fewer than 50 goals scored in 5 separate seasons, 55 or more goals conceded in 7 of the last 10 seasons. This season, under 0.9 points per game, and just 1 away win in 13. At what point do results like these test even the most loyal supporter?
So thanks very much for that from Stat Matt.
It's lovely, yeah. Didn't know he was a Brentford fan.
Well, now you know.
Well.
And the thing is, the reason that we wanted to talk about it, I promise you, I hadn't teed up Matt beforehand, but we were going to talk about apathy today, Joe. Just this idea particularly. Looking at Spurs this weekend was one thing, was seeing this sort of odd environment at Spurs in that first half where the fans just really looked like they'd had enough.
Yeah.
And there are football clubs up and down the country who must be feeling like that as well. And Matt, in his voice note there, has talked about Shrewsbury, who have had 10 years, a decade of just miserable, sort of plodding seasons, below average, but not quite terrible, but just pretty bad, and how their loyalties as fans must be challenged, really. What sort of clubs do you think up and down the Football League do you think might be sort of despairing at the moment, and fans might be just wondering whether to just, give up football altogether and take up fishing?
Take up fishing. I at the moment, not entirely sure. I think my mind immediately went to the years at Everton, when they just seem to be consistently surviving relegation and finishing 17th every year. Also thinking of Crystal Palace seem to always end up finishing 12th, and just kind of that notion of what are we doing here? Like, what are we coming to support? You have to be honest that the cost to go and watch football games these days is astronomical. I've
got to be honest, until this season, it felt like that at Stoke for quite we're sort of bordering on 10 years of being below mid-table in the Championship, not really getting threatened with relegation, but not doing anything interesting either. And you start to wonder, like, do I really want to go to this game?
Yeah, and you just plow in so much money, and what are you getting from it? And you almost need something from the club to get you excited, give you a reason to go along, because otherwise you're just watching mid-table mediocrity.
One club that I think you could say fans must be wringing their hands, tearing their hair out, is Morecambe, isn't it, Joe? Because they've been on a journey, shall we say, right through to, all the way back in September, when we went for a prayer walk around the stadium to have, only for a manager to be brought in who's just been promptly sacked. It's not going well, is it, there?
No, it's a really interesting story, because at the start of this season, there was a strong chance that Morecambe FC would not be a thing anymore, and these fans wouldn't have a club to support. So, looking at it that way, should fans just be grateful that they still have a club?
Absolutely. And so for those of you who've not followed this, Morecambe have reappointed Jim Bentley as manager just days after parting company with former boss Ashveer Singh Jahal. They find themselves 7 points from safety, with the Shrimps winning just 5 out of 28 league games under Jahal. It's not going well, is it?
Who's the Shrimps?
This is Morecambe. They are the Shrimps. Come on, keep up, producer Tom.
Why shrimps?
Because
it's a great question.
Something to do with the local.
Are they by the sea?
They're by the sea.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we don't know exactly how the fans are feeling. So I thought I'd get in touch with our good friend Martin Bateman,
Martin
Chaplin at Morecambe, and I just said, what is the mood amongst the fans like at the moment?
We were thankful in this summer of the prayers of many people around the country, as we saw Morecambe almost fall into administration and go out of business. It was, as Bishop Jill Duff said, the miracle of Morecambe that we kept going, and we were so thankful that we had a team that could play in the National League. The results really haven't gone our way in the first half of the season, and so in some ways the departure of the current manager is understandable, but it's always a shame when a good coach leaves a football club. I must say that Jim Bentley is a club legend, and it's encouraging to think that somebody who's got such experience in the club as a player, being the captain when we got promotion, and was manager as well in the 2010s, it's great to have him back, and we can only hope and pray that this current system and the new setup will work well. But the current month offers an amazing opportunity to really right the ship and get some results back. And the overall atmosphere then, I'm sure, will improve, as results on the field can also improve the way things are feeling behind the scenes. But we're thankful that people are still interested in what's happening at Morecambe, and I personally am thankful for Christians around the country who pray for and remember the players, staff, and backroom staff, coaching staff as well at the club.
That's really interesting for Martin. Like, he seemingly is quite optimistic about the new manager. Called him a club legend, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it is that thing of, like, should Morecambe fans just be grateful that they're even in existence? They're currently looking like the odds on to go down, or isn't it okay for fans to demand more from their football clubs? I think it seems like a fair question to me.
I think it is, and I think it's a really confusing one as well. Like, how should you feel towards it? So what's really interesting here, and we see this so often with clubs, is that you're in a moment where fans aren't particularly happy with the style of football, the results, so they've brought in a club legend to try and give fans a bit more. You've seen it at United.
Exactly what's happening at Man United.
And it's kind of that thing of, this person so connected with your club has come in, take the reins, and you feel more connected to that person maybe, and it's kind of, again, let's use the word vibes. It brings a good vibe back into the club. So I think, yeah, Morecambe fans have a right to feel kind of angry.
I think it's interesting because fans expressing disappointment, I think, we touched on grief earlier, and this isn't the same as grief, but actually it sort of feels like it's connected to grief, doesn't it? Is when we are expressing disappointment or sadness or anger, we're expressing a loss of something, whether that's grief for what our clubs used to be, or or the promise that has not been fulfilled. It feels like those are valid emotions to be feeling, aren't they?
Yeah, because essentially when it comes down to it, grief is love, isn't it? Grief is longing for something that you absolutely love and it's not there anymore, whether that's grief through the loss of someone or through a situation that has changed. And in this case, obviously, grief is a strong word in the grand scheme of things when it comes to a club's form. But it is kind of longing for that feel-good factor back at your club, something to feel connected to, something to long for.
Now, what's interesting is that the Bible talks a lot about these kind of feelings of disappointment. The Bible talks about this as lament. You look at the Psalms; it's full of David sort of expressing how awful life seems to be at this moment in time. Psalm 13 says, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever?" Psalm 44 says, "Why do you hide your face?" It's not, the Bible doesn't shy away from these kind of emotions, do they?
No, they don't. And I think there's definitely space for it. The Bible does create space for these feelings. And going back to that word apathy before, I think I'd rather feel angry, feel disappointed than feel apathetic.
Well, it shows you care.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's that if you care about something, you are passionate and you want it to change if it's not right.
And Jesus wasn't apathetic, was he? There was no real situation you saw him come across in the Bible and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not bothered about that actually." And just carried on. Like, he really felt things and he felt angry. He showed us what it meant to have righteous anger towards a situation. And anger can be misplaced, of course it can, but the Bible really does create space for us to feel things. And I think we can often feel like we're not allowed to feel angry about things or disappointed about things, but there definitely is room for that.
And I think, again, we do have to balance that intention with our actions as well. So Ephesians 4 talks about, "In your anger, do not sin." So it's sort of highlighting there, you are going to get angry. Getting angry is part of life. What you do with that anger is really, really important.
Yeah, because there's a difference between anger that is sinful and anger that is righteous. Like we said before, you can feel angry about an injustice, a situation that you feel is not right. Now, if that anger is to do with, something that you deeply care about and lines up with your Christian values and what the Bible says, then I think that's okay. Whereas if that anger comes from a place of, like yourself or your ego or that kind of thing, something to benefit you, then that's where it kind of gets a bit more difficult.
Now let's bring this back to football. If you have a supporter, let's say you have a friend who's angry about the way their club is being run, and we've said that's a valid emotion to feel. What sort of actions do you think are okay in response to that, and what sort of actions would you say absolutely not okay? Because it's all about our actions in this point of view.
It is. It's a messy question, that, I think, because I think the go-to thing, particularly thinking about club ownership, there's so much chat around protesting, right? And I think as a Christian, there is some muddy waters around protesting, and I think we should do a whole conversation of what that means. But I think it's certainly not okay to get violent and to be abusive, to get verbally angry. I think is a bit too far. What do you think?
Well, this is it. Is I would say for me that the line is you're absolutely right. Violence is obviously a no, but also like you see some protests that are very abusive towards owners, towards managers, towards players. Not fit to wear the shirt, all of that sort of stuff. I think that there's ways you can protest. There's, some teams, their fans leave the stadium if they're unhappy, in a kind of a boycott thing. I think that for me feels like a good way to protest and to sort of vote with your feet. I think with all of this, we have to be sort of looking at our own actions and be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm okay with what I've done
100%. There. And there's a line, I think there's quite a clear line between, and it's something we've come back to time and time again. I think we mentioned it last week, but, you can be angry at a situation, maybe you can be disappointed and protest against that, but when it becomes personal, when you're attacking someone as a human being, I think that's when it's not okay.
Do you feel apathetic about the situation at Liverpool at the moment, Joe?
I don't. I feel encouraged.
Do you?
I don't feel angry anymore.
You're not gonna take up fishing.
I don't think so. Oh, it sounds boring, doesn't it? Fishing. Do you fish? Do either of you fish?
Yeah, I fish.
You fish?
Yeah, I fish. Yeah.
Go on then.
It's great. It's as good as football.
What kind of fishing do you do?
Just, I don't know, bankside fishing. Just on the sidelines, bench. I'm on the bench.
Good.
Fishing from the bench. And it's brilliant. It's like scoring a goal. In football.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can score 2, but sometimes you score none. It's very like football, actually, in a way.
Do they call it scoring? I scored a fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that. Fishing with
Tom. Check out our new podcast, Fishing with Tom.
Fish up top.
Yeah, that's great. Right, Joe. Producer Tom has had to leave the studio.
He's got important things to do.
It's clearly more important than chatting nonsense with us. We've been going on for too long. But in his absence, we need to finish Bible Ballers.
We do, yes. Do you want to hear it again? It's quite long.
I do. I do want to hear it again. Let's go for it.
Okay, we got a team. It's blue versus white and stripes, and the ball's looks like it's coming down to the white with stripes end. They're in the half, and he looks like he's going to have a go. Whoa! Oh my goodness! Oh wow! He shot that from like halfway across the field. What a goal! And he's run, and he's proper happy about that because he should be. And oh wow! And he goes and dives on the ground. He gets lots of hugs. Fella comes up and he points at his teeth. I bet nobody thought he was going to do that, and not even the goalkeeper. He just sort of looked up at it gormlessly. Well, I mean, he probably didn't think they were going to shoot it because it was so far away, and he didn't even try. I think he was a bit out of position, and it over his head. Poor fella.
Okay, I need some clues here, Joe.
I am happy to give you some clues.
Okay, please do. Because so he said from halfway through the field. So I don't think this is Peter Crouch because he was comfortably in the opponent's half when he scored the wonder goal. I don't think it's Charlie Adam because I don't think there's a book of Charlie.
You'd be right.
So I need some clues.
Well, I'll happily tell you that this goal was in 2005.
Okay.
And the white striped team that Tom was on about is Sunderland.
Okay.
And Sunderland was the team to concede this goal.
Interesting.
And there was a clue that Tom gave earlier on that the scorer was wearing red socks.
Scorer was wearing red socks.
This guy had a screamer in him.
So I'm going off that clue. If a team in blue with red socks, I can only think of Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's like a James MacArthur or something like that.
James MacArthur.
Did he play for Portsmouth? He's got Portsmouth written all over him. I'm just gonna go. I think I've got my years wrong. I also don't think he played for Portsmouth, but I think it's a James. So
I think it's a James.
Yeah, James MacArthur. It's wrong, isn't it?
Locking in James MacArthur.
It's wrong, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is wrong.
Yeah, no, I know.
The answer you're looking for in a 4-1 win for Portsmouth against Sunderland.
Okay, so I got the team.
2005. The answer you're looking for is Matthew Taylor.
Oh,
Matthew Taylor. He loved the halfway line goal.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. That was a fantastic Portsmouth side, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Some really great players in that squad. Just, classic Barclays.
Well, what a way to end this week's episode, Ed.
Yes.
It's been a joy.
Been a joy.
Well, thank you so much for listening to The Big Man Up Top. If you want to get in touch with the show, please ping us an email at podcast@ucb.co.uk. Please follow, subscribe, and give us good reviews because this will help us get the word out. Also, if you've enjoyed this, please tell your mates.
Please do.
And a huge thank you to producer Tom, who has left the room, but we will pass on our thanks to him. And there will be a new episode next Tuesday.
See you later, Joe.
See ya.